The question before us today is simple, but yet very powerful on that. So, are our students truly future ready? To explain this important topic, we are privileged to have some of the finest education leaders from West Bengal and Odisha with us in this evening. Let's begin with this inspiring conversation. Thank you. Our next speaker is Sonia Gidla, Douglas Memorial Higher Secondary School, Kolkata. So she is our next distinguished panelist who has decided herself to building strong academic values while encouraging holistic students' development. Please welcome Ms. Sonia Gidla. Let's start the discussions there.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think the first question to me is that, so what does a future-ready education truly means in today's rapidly changing world? If you could share your thought on that.
A very good evening to one and all. And thank you so much for having me at this panel discussion. Special thanks to all the panelists who are here. And thank you to Tanya Sen, ma'am, for how wonderfully and beautifully explaining and touching upon those very relevant points. I will try my best to share my point of view. So future-ready education is something we're all talking about because we know that future is at hand and we're all going to be a part of both the present
Mm,
and the future. But what determines and decides our future starts now. How we
mm,
think, how we prepare, how we plan, how we
mm,
train our children to navigate and traverse that beautiful path that lay in front of them. But
mm,
alongside, we have risks, we have challenges, we have traps, we have
mm,
gaddhas, and, and we have so many other things that could lead them astray, derail, right?
mm.
That could
Correct.
distract them because this world, like ma'am very aptly said, a VUCA world, right?
Mm,
So many things are happening, so many things are going on, and we are always expecting so much from our children. When we are
mm,
ourselves as adults are not fulfilling our responsibilities,
mm,
yet we expect so much from our children who are at a
mm,
tender age. They are learning, they're adapting. So if you ask me how we're going to train and prepare them, I feel we're living in a world that's talking more and more about skills. Even the
mm,
MHRD, the Ministry of Human Resource Department, now is telling that you have to develop your children and build them on certain skills. Now, I distinguish them like this: the hard
mm,
skills and the
mhm,
soft skills. So, ma'am spoke about the life skills, again, a very important part and element of education. So, hard skill is something that we've always focused on. We've put our impetus on, like it could be your computer programming, it could be graphic designing, it could
mhm.
be speaking a certain language. So, all of these things are necessary, it's important. But
Correct.
somewhere we are losing hold and grip on our soft skills. We are talking about it. It's not that we are not. What about endurance? What about tolerance? What about patience? What about team spirit? What about leadership? We all have our roles. We all have our competencies. We have our skills. So hard skill is what you can do, but soft skill is how well and effectively you can do it and manage.
Yeah.
If you see a look around, maybe our children are scoring really well, they're doing their part, the teachers are well qualified, well trained, all of our CPDs are happening as per time.
Mm,
But what are we lacking in? Our children being raised well at home. Because
mm,
all the pressure, all the demands that the parents want cannot be fulfilled by schools. There are certain
mm.
skills that only parents can teach.
Correct.
But we have overbearing parents who are
Mm,
expecting everything to be done at school. Yes, we have a role to play, we will give our best. But these soft skills like problem solving, right?
mm, mm,
Adapting, looking at the world through the lens of a child instead of us
mm.
telling us how to look. That also we are saying. The parents are
Correct.
saying, teachers are saying. So, where is the freedom to explore our own fertile imagination, which I feel children have excelled in that? And they're already on the path of enlightenment because now information is everywhere, but they don't know how
Mm,
to handle information. So
mm.
these competencies, these skills have to be built both by educators, both by school leaders, as well as the parent community. And if we cannot do it together, somewhere this cocoon that we have built for ourselves is going to crumble.
Mm.
So what we can do and how well we can do it, focusing on both hard and soft skills. I think that's my answer. And that's how
Yeah,
we prepare them for the future. Yeah.
absolutely, ma'am. That is absolutely correctly said on that. So, as you mentioned on over there, so how we should encourage our students to become a creative thinkers rather than a simply high scorer. So, if you
I think
share,
both are important to think
yeah.
creatively and
Mhm.
scoring marks because see right after your board examinations they're going to have to
Mhm.
appear for their NEET
Neat
examination or other
examination.
competitive examination. So over there people are demanding marks, so we can't
Correct.
really do away with marks though we are talking
Mhm.
about the other things. Those are
Mhm.
also important, but why can't we do both simultaneously? We can engage them in creative thinking. We can engage
Mhm.
them to be critical thinkers. We can allow them to be explorers and at the same time have
Mhm.
those good marks and scores, which I think every school is now, they've started to understand this bit. So marks, scores are important, but giving them the right kind of environment where they can
Mhm.
explore, where they can thrive, where they can bring
Mhm.
out their own creativity, their own selves, I think that
Mhm.
should be provided to them, a proper platform to be provided to the
Proper
children.
platform.
Yes, yes, yes.
Correct.
And
Correct.
also, we have to somewhere shift from the fixed mindset to creative
Mhm.
mindset. Now, what do I mean by that? Like, give them certain circumstances and scenarios where we just don't ask why, but we ask
Mhm.
what if. What if? Let's say we are talking about in a debate or maybe in a
Mhm.
political science class, just not political science, maybe a debate.
Mhm.
That what do you think about one nation, one election?
Correct. Yeah.
You will see divergent point of view. Some will say
Mhm.
yes, we should do it. Some will say no, we
Mhm.
shouldn't, and they will give their points. Or
Mhm.
maybe I give them another scenario. Maybe it's a competition. We've had the best manager competition where I tell them this is your budget, maybe
Mhm.
10,000 rupees. And how do you start a cloud kitchen? First, they should know what is a cloud kitchen. And then I
Yeah.
ask them, what are the steps and measures that you're going to take to start a cloud kitchen with just 10,000 rupees if you have? And then I give
Mhm.
them another scenario where I challenge them to think you have 0 rupees and you have to start
Mhm.
a cloud kitchen. How would you start? So again, divergent way of thinking. So shifting from fixed mindset to creative mindset. তা আমরা
Mhm.
অনেক আগে থেকে কি করে এসেছি what we have been doing is we are giving the scenario, we are only talking, we are only explaining, we are giving all the answers. Okay, so sometimes instead of expecting the right answers, we have to ask them better questions. All of my teachers are over here from Douglas Memorial
Mhm.
School. So we've,
Mhm.
we've been telling them that don't just expect good answers from children. Learn to ask better questions. And then you will see automatically you will have a brighter class who are engaging, who are
Correct.
talking, who are conversing, and it's not a monologue by a teacher. I'll just add
Mhm.
one example. The other day
Yeah.
I was
No.
conducting a class with class 11 on Shakespeare's sonnet, sonnet 116. So it's the central idea and theme of the poem is love. Now,
Mhm.
usually in a school environment, you don't expect a teacher to talk about love. It's a hush hush thing. It's a taboo.
Mhm.
But why? We're all born with that spirit, of love. That value of love is inside us. So why to shy away? Let's stop that. So I told my children, this is how I built my PRK, prerequisite knowledge, that I told them to tell me their perception of love, and I listed it down on the blackboard. And then I started a conversation with them instead of just
Mhm.
jumping into the topic to complete the syllabus. This is where we go wrong. I feel we have to draw answers from our children, and then using their knowledge, I facilitate my class. Ma'am so wonderfully said that you are just a facilitator. Let them let them be on the driver's seat sometimes and take the class forward. You just have to push them from behind. And it was a wonderful class I had yesterday, and they are so mature in their thinking. Some said love is responsibility. Some said love is trust. Some said love is madness. Some said it's about jealousy, insecurity, fear. Some said love
Mhm.
is boundaries, creating boundaries,
Mhm.
having boundaries. So you see, all of this thinking is coming from them and not me. And then I'm just pushing that conversation forward, and somehow I'm relating that with Shakespeare. This is
Mhm.
how I feel you should work with the children so that they score well at the same time they're thinking creatively. Yeah.
That's really very good to explain on that one, right? So here in this today's talk show, there are a lot of teachers are also here, right? So means how can teacher inspire students to dream bigger and pursue innovation as well? If you could share your thought on that.
Mm, they have to do something very tough, to believe in a child when nobody does, because they're always getting
Yeah,
that kind of, yeah, because they're always in some sort of insecurity, fear, and self doubt,
yeah,
and
that
they don't know
also.
how to sift. They don't know how to sift. First thing, we need to tap onto their potential, to let them know that you have this talent, you have this skill, you can do it. So somewhere we don't have that. I can't blame the teachers also. They don't have the time to talk to each child every day. But somehow we have to
Mm,
make time. Time management is also a soft skill. So parents want their part. Their demands are there on their children. They never ask the children, "What do you want?" So somewhere I feel the
mm,
teacher's role is to first believe in the child when the child does not believe in herself or himself, and then to sift, to
mm,
make them understand what potential lies in them, because at this age teenagers, they're so confused, they're all over the place, they don't know. So somewhere we have to be that guiding light. This is, maybe you're good at this, so focus on that
mm,
instead of this. So that understanding the students lack, so somewhere we have to guide them, we have to talk to them, tap onto their potential. And I think teachers themselves have to be very motivated and filled with burst of positivity. If they themselves are so demotivated, they will never be able
mm,
to push a child. So all teachers must always come with that thought that today I'm going to do something new. A child is going to learn something new from me. and I'm going to motivate that child. I'm going to give a good dose of positivity to that child. I think that is it. You
That's
just
it.
hand over the clay to them and then they create something out of it. You just have to
Yeah.
give them that brush and that paint and they draw the painting. We don't have to do everything. We just have to be there and do our work, that is being a facilitator. I think that's about it. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Correctly. Okay. So my last question to you is that what advice would you give to the students who want to become the future entrepreneur?
Okay, entrepreneurs. Okay.
Yeah.
So India has now become this huge place, a hub of
Yes, that's true.
startups.
It's yeah.
Everybody's talking about it. So even our
Correct.
students, who are in classes 11 and 12,
Mhm.
they're running their own businesses. So then I
Mhm.
thought, my gosh, when my students can do it, why can't I?
Correct, correct,
That's
correct.
so the students also help you grow, achieve those
Mhm.
milestones. But my advice would be, don't take this as a trend, because entrepreneurship involves a lot of risk, a lot of failure,
Correct.
and we're
That's
all
true.
not born to accept those challenges, those risks and
Mhm.
dangers. So it's a very hype word now. Entrepreneurship,
Mhm.
everybody has to do it. There is nothing wrong in 9 to 5 job. If you're
Correct.
successful at it, if you want to work from 9 to 5, go back to your home, have a good night's sleep, be with your family, so be it. Because entrepreneurship means you're losing your night's sleep. It's a long period of research and development. There's a lot of
Mhm.
finances involved. I mean, you're never at peace. You're always like thinking, and you have to evolve that idea. You have to scale your business. So you're always, your mind is always active. So are the children ready for this? Some are, some are not. But some are pushed
Yeah.
onto it because someone else is doing. Amiyo korbo. So it's like a trend.
Mhm.
So my advice
Thank
would
you.
be that you have to be clear with your vision, with what you want to do. Just don't do it because it's trending, because it's got a lot of risk, lot of hours of studying and researching, and to be consistent. I feel nowadays students lack consistency. Once I get something, I implement it and then I just leave it, and I just wait for miracles to happen. How can that?
Mhm.
You have to continuously work on it. Even if you fail, you work. You fail, you work. So it's like, so how many of our children are ready to do that? If they're ready to do it, we're all there
Mhm.
for them. So I would just like to say, since you mentioned entrepreneurship, I myself have started something called the Skin Tuition Cosmetics. So the children, I started that because I felt
Mhm.
that in self-care and skincare industry, somewhere we
Mhm.
are catering to mature skin, we're catering to babies, but the
Mhm.
teenage section, there's a big
Mhm.
gap. Right. So my advice to the children would be, just don't start anything. Don't just launch anything. First, try to find out through your research and survey what is the problem
Mhm.
and what are you going to cater to that. What needs are you catering to and which age group? So sometimes we are selling everything, we're marketing and selling everything to everyone. So we need to
Mhm.
find our own niche,
Your
which
target
age
audience
group,
for that.
problem, and to solve that problem. And sometimes we start the business just because we want to do it. No, we have to do it
Mhm.
because someone else wants it, wants the solution for it. Then you
Correct,
start the
correct,
business.
correct.
I think slowly and steadily it's going to pick up. I'm struggling right now. I'm in my struggling phase. I'm learning so much myself. So my advice would be that
Mhm.
business is always a struggling phase at the beginning. And maybe even when you're scaling, again you will stop and you're going to fail and struggle. But you have to keep on at it. That's it. Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Thanks, ma'am. Your comment and your suggestion is very insightful on that. And as well as your journey to the startup is also very much inspiring for the students and
Thank
parents
you.
as well, ma'am. Yeah. Next Robotics, we are launching a program. It is a national level championship, the Medhara 1.0 Bharat AI Challenge. Today, I'm proud to announce the official launch of Medhara 1.0 Bharat AI Challenge. This is not just another competition, it is a national movement to empower India's next generation innovators, IT creators, entrepreneurs, and change makers through Medhara 1.0.